Meet the Hotring Everon. Where do I begin with this truck? First, it's a sports class vehicle in an already bloated sports class. Also, it's one of at least 3 similar trucks that are already like it. So I'm not sure why it was added other than to have an inflated price on a vehicle specific for the Hotring races. It retails for $1,790,000. But if you come in top 3 in 20 Hotring races, you can get it for the trade price of $1,342,500, which will be hard to do when everyone has already purchased an upgraded version, and right now you can't even use it in Hotring races, so kind of defeats the purpose. But anyway, still, I think I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's test it. We'll see where it lines up. First, we're at Hotring Circuit, and this is where we test acceleration, handling, and braking. And when it comes to acceleration, this truck does very well. It's definitely improved in braking, and you'll need that braking as well because its handling is atrocious. The problem is it rotates too quickly and in turn starts to slide. Even if you get off the gas and try to coast through the turn or brake too hard, you'll find the rear trying to rotate around. So don't be afraid to use those exceptional brakes to bleed off some of the speed as you enter a sharp turn. Your biggest hurdle will be to find the sweet spot in apexes to allow for that speed to carry through. It pulled off a 130.626, which isn't going to run the Italy GTO. That is, it's a complete 7 seconds faster. But when the field is only Hotring cars, you shouldn't have to even worry about that. Next up is Route 68, and this is where we test top speed. And this is where the great acceleration does it a great service, while the lack of handling doesn't hinder it. It was able to negotiate the track very well, and it handled very well. The Hotring races tend to have these long sweeping turns, so I'm fairly certain that the handling would play a key role in those races. It pulled off a 152.248, which was similar to a Buffalo STX, so it wasn't too bad, but that's still 20 seconds behind the S95 HSW and almost 10 seconds behind the Pariah. So it appears you'll be paying that nearly $2 million price tag just for one style of race. That's pretty rough. Going down is the dirt track, and this race challenges the best, and before we even start, the sports class is broken when it comes to competition. The Everon did a 129.232 against a 113 of the ISSI Sport, one of the best times ever in the game when it comes to dirt. If you're going to purchase this, though, and I highly doubt you will unless you have some race class that forces you to, I would recommend hosting a dirt race, even with this truck. It's an absolute blast on the dirt. Sure, the handling is bad, but that just adds to the flavor because it has really good acceleration, really good braking. So although it's challenging in the right ways. And that would be a great way to find out who really is the best driver in your racing team. So by all means, one of the best tracks is the one we're testing, which is going down. So if you want to put your guys to the test, see who's the best guy out there, and you guys already have your Everon out, by all means, try going down. You will not be disappointed with the results. So what's the verdict? This truck comes with way more questions than it does answers. I don't know if the sports class is the right class, but it doesn't matter because it's not a competitive vehicle of that class. Why ruin the Hotring class either? I couldn't even test it because it's not loaded into that style of racing either. It's also in a class with other trucks, so we already had trucks out, so why not put them in the other class? It's very confusing about what the intention here was. And most players out there, they want some sort of advantage, or they want to pit you for a victory in a catch-up plagued race. So about the only thing it's useful for is its specific race team use. So if you have a race team and you want to set up a race where everybody has an equal car, then here's your opportunity. But that's $1,700,000 just to do that race. And there's not a lot of people out there that are willing to continue to spend this kind of money just for one specific race. There is no reason to have a trade price either. When it comes to 20 races to get the trade price, you already have bought the car if you're going to be competitive with it. It's also never going to win a car show. So I just don't get it, and honestly, I don't think I ever will, and I think a lot of people are confused where this car went. I'm just going to say this to Rockstar as kind of an open message. If you want us to purchase a $2 million car, I'll do one right now. Make a GT class that's actually competitive. Look up Super GT, look up the GT 300 class, even some sort of FIA GT class, if you will. I wouldn't even care if they all had exact identical stats to keep the class competitive. That's really what Super GT's GT 500 class is. Maybe work on a downforce option so a player can choose a different kind of wings that, if you go faster with lower handling or slower with better handling, just make a GT class. That's it. And have the class actually be GT class. You can also do GT class races that were available all other classes, and the only way to buy the GT class cars were to win a certain amount of races in the GT class. This is kind of similar to the way the tuners had it set it up, and that way you could have a dedicated racing league and you could turn off catch up, and really it just comes down to each player racing base cars that are trying to unlock that car that they don't have any trade price for. You can't buy the car unless you complete a certain amount of races in those GT race events, and then once you get it, you get qualified. You could even call it some kind of sponsorship thing or something, but there's so many ways of doing that in a way that would get players to both come back to GTA but be dedicated to going to that next level. This trade price stuff does not keep people invested. It doesn't make people buy cash cards. It doesn't do anything. Nobody wants to race those 20 races. They're just going to give up and just pay the $1 million and call it a day right after they run a Cayo Perico run. So really, Rockstar, you need to bring your A game and get it to that next level for us to start buying that. So until then, I want you to like and subscribe. Enjoy the incoming content as we continue to review some of the perfect cars out there. I've already filmed some other content, and I want to continue to test some cars like the Vectra, the Itali GTO, and even like the Calico GT. The fun stuff. So you guys keep watching, and we will see you then. Have a great day.